Since 2001, so now almost in the last 10 years, the cost of employee and retiree health benefits to you, the New Jersey taxpayers, has doubled. It's doubled. The cost of health benefits as a percentage of New Jersey's annual budget is now 9% of our annual budget. 9% of a $29 billion budget is spent just on public employee and retiree health benefits. In 2001, it was 4.5%. So you see the path we're on. And if we do nothing, it will increase another 40% over the course of the next 4 years. Now, none of this stuff is pleasant. This is, again, it's like showing up at the party after the party's over, and you're the guy who has to clean it up. I get that. But I think that one of the things that I have noticed about what people have said to me when they meet me in different places around New Jersey in the last 8 months is that they're happy that they have an administration now, a governor and a lieutenant governor who are treating them like adults and who are telling them the truth. These are ugly, hard truths. They're no more pleasant for me to say than they are for you to hear. But the fact of the matter is, we got two choices. Get ourselves out of this hole or keep digging it deeper. That's it. Those are the two choices. And anybody who comes to you, any politician who comes to you now, in these times and says to you, elect me, and I will fix these problems without you having to pay for anything. We'll find that other person to go and pay for it. Listen, we've already been to that circus show. Okay? We've seen it already. We've gone through it. We elected the Wizard of Wall Street 4 years ago, who was going to fix all right. There was going to be a magic solution to these problems. He was going to use his skills that he developed, making himself all that money, and he was going to make it happen for you. Well, here we sit. $11 billion budget deficit, $46 billion deficit in the pension plan, $67 billion deficit in the health care plan. Let me suggest to you, we can do without any more of that kind of magic. Okay? We can do without it. So you see over to my left, and I'll end here and let you ask questions. You see over to my left the sign that says 98 days left for the legislature to act on reform. You know that last week we proposed them sweeping ethics reform. Now, I have to tell you, from having been the United States Attorney in New Jersey, put over 130 politicians of both parties in jail over 7 years without a loss. One of the things I couldn't wait to get to Trenton to do was to have some real ethics reform with teeth. And I will tell you that when you see the legislature's reaction to some of these proposals, you can tell these proposals are real because they're making all kinds of excuses and running the other way. But they got 98 days till the end of the session. And now this week we're talking about real pension and health benefit reform. And they got 98 days left to act. Because every day that we let go by is a lost opportunity. Every day that we let go by is another excuse from a professional politician who says, it's too hard, I can't do it. Well, you know what? We got elected to do the hard things. We got elected to do the hard things, and you all, every day, are doing things a heck of a lot harder than this. Trying to survive in this economy, trying to help family and friends and loved ones who are unemployed, to keep them afloat until the economy gets better, to try to pay your own taxes and your own expenses, to try to raise your children in a way that makes them want to stay in this place rather than go someplace else. So I don't want to hear anybody in politics complaining about hard. Okay? No one put a gun to my head to get me to do this. My wife reminds me all the time. I pursued this job of my own free will, and I knew the place was a mess. I didn't know it was quite this bad, but I knew it was a mess when I got elected. And so I don't want to hear about hard. It's 98 days left to act on real reform. And you should ask every member of the state legislature, whether they're a Republican or a Democrat, are they going to step up and start telling you the truth also? Now, there are going to be areas for us to compromise. I compromised a bit on the property tax cap, and now we have a 2% hard cap on property taxes that will go into effect January 1st. But you know what? If I had waited It wouldn't have happened. And what did I do? I called them into session at 2 o'clock in the morning while they were passing the budget. We sent out letters to all of them saying, guess what, you're coming back July 1st and July 2nd and July 3rd and July 4th until you pass the property tax cap. Well, we only had to get to July 3rd. And all of a sudden, magically, I got a vote. Okay? We have to keep the pressure on folks, me included, to do what we said we were going to do, to stand up and make our state a better place. And so that's why I'm here today to talk to all of you about this issue. We're going to talk next week about how we need to reform our tax system and our regulatory system and other things to help become more competitive. The Lieutenant Governor is going to lead that discussion to create more private sector jobs here. And the week after that, we're going to talk about the things we need to do to reform our education system. An education system that costs too much and produces too little for too many people in this state. And it's time to stand up once again to the teachers union and say, you may like it being comfortable, but if we're gonna pay for it, we want our children to learn.